While his performances might not have been as good as they are in Test cricket and 2020 cricket, one-day cricket, it can be difficult to find the right balance in one-day cricket from the get-go. So look, anything is possible, as I said, in future. Secondly, I think we're one of the few teams, or probably the only team in world cricket that's blessed with two wrist spinners, and Kedar Jadhav doing the conventional job pretty well for the team. So that's why I say the balance of the side is pretty good at the moment. Wrist spinners help you in any condition in the world, anywhere you play. Wrist spinners can go for 6 and over, but they'll pick you 3 wickets as well, which is eventually the difference in the game. And we're very happy to have two, which are very different from each other. We don't have two leggies or two Chinamans. Both are very different and versatile in their own ways, and I think that's going to be a major strength for this team going forward. Yeah, look, it's not only me, it's a lot of people that are involved. The management is there, the selectors are obviously keeping an eye on the guys that are coming up. So potentially what happens is you figure out backups for all the spots that are there in the 11, from batsmen to bowlers. Every spot is covered basically, so that is how you create bench strength. And secondly, for us as management in the team and myself, we look at characters before we look at skill. We look at a guy who's scored a 40 when the team needed it the most, compared to a guy who's scored runs but they might not have affected the state of the game that much. So we look for game changers. We look for guys who embrace pressure, and we look for guys who want to be in difficult situations, because one-day cricket, you don't have another day to come back and do something extra. You have to make decisions there and then, and the game is done in the evening. So you need to be at the top of your game, and that is probably the most important factor that we keep in mind going ahead. Now, as I said, just the middle order is something that, although the lower middle order is more or less sorted, the combination is working well for us with Hardik and Kedar and MS rotating and batting together. Number 4 is something that we've experimented with a lot in the last few games or last couple of series. So that is probably the only spot I see as of now that needs to be solidified. Otherwise, the team looks pretty balanced. Look, obviously we have quality players in the side, so it's not like we're compromising on the result. It's about finding the players who fit a particular spot, better in certain conditions, as I mentioned. So that will be our mindset. As I said, we're going to play the World Cup in England, which is going to be very different from what we get back home as well. So people who might be doing well at home might necessarily not repeat their performances in England. So it's very different. So we'll have to figure out which player's game suits the team best in particular conditions that we play at a particular spot. So I don't think the quality of the team would be compromised in any way, regardless of who takes the number 4 position, because we have strong batsmen above and below to sort of stabilize the innings. So I'm pretty confident about all the guys in the team. Look, we are a side who's always done well in the shorter format, so we didn't necessarily need to change the way things work for us. It's very similar to what works for a particular batsman and what doesn't work for another. What works for one team necessarily won't work for another team. So yeah, I mean, England plays a certain brand of cricket, so does Australia. India plays in a very different way, but anything is effective. No one technique is perfect in cricket, and no one way of playing is perfect in any format. So you can win with your style of play as long as you're convinced about it and you believe in it. So I think that's the thing that matters the most. Different styles should not be copied. That's what I feel personally, from batsman to batsman and team to team and bowler to bowler as well. If someone tries to bowl like Jasprit right now, they'll mess up their bowling. It's very similar. We don't want to hamper the balance of our team. Obviously, the areas that need improvement, you keep improving them on the sidelines and you keep moving forward. But the core style of play of the team should always be there. So we should know as batsmen who's going to do what. If there's a factor of unpredictability, then the team feels very unbalanced.